What do you get when you combine a rapper, a singer, a marketer, a fitness guru, and a kind of psychedelic genius all into one package? You get today's guest. Let's talk about it. Welcome to the RK3 Show. I'm Robert Kennedy III, RK3. That's me. And today's show is about LinkedIn. Yeah, we've done a lot of linking in lately. That's a lot of linking, a lot of L's, a lot of stuff. LOL. Well, I'm hoping you got a lot of learning from it. And it's making a difference for you in your communication, your business, and how you are telling your story. Because somehow that's where we always end up, telling stories. Speaking of stories, I was told the other day that I don't tell some of my own stories enough. I was in a mastermind session with a group and we were going through an activity, 2 truths and a lie. And one of my stories was about the time I ended up in jail. It was shocking for most of the people. I know. Now you're hearing me say it. And you probably want to know the story too. And I'll share it another time. But if you really want to know the story, do me a favor. Shoot me a voicemail letting me know that you want to hear the story. And I'll send you a link to a video where I share it. Shoot me a voicemail by going to robertkennedy3.com/voicemail. That's Robert Kennedy, the number 3.com/voicemail. Tell me something interesting. Leave your email and say, dude, tell me your jail story. I'll get back to you. Now, before we get to the interview, I want to remind you about some of the other great episodes we've had recently. We've had some really awesome guests, like episode 39 with Kelly Leonard, talking to us about LinkedIn, the platform that gets you paid. You should also check out episode 34, where Kathy Fayok shares how you can get paid with a book. And episode 31, where Sunny Njao shares how she created a space for men, even as a woman. Speaking of Sunny, I'll be hosting her event, Men Impact Change, right here in Maryland on November 16th. And the event will feature, Roland Martin and other amazing speakers. I'm excited to be a part of this, and you can register to attend by jumping over into the show notes. And I hope to see you there. Today's show is sponsored by 5 simple strategies to get paid for public speaking. I'm pulling back the curtain on some things and sharing with you some simple strategies you can use to get paid for your experience and or your expertise. In addition to those 5 strategies, I'm going to be giving away a free report with another 15 strategies you can use to begin getting paid. So I want you to hop over to the show notes. You'll find the link there for the web class. I'm inviting you to sign up today because you don't need to wait until it's too late to get started. Get paid for your story right now. Let's jump into today's show. My guest, Rob Howze, is a Renaissance man. He has an automation company. He's a singer. He's a rapper. He's a LinkedIn guru. And if you've seen any of his videos, you'll no doubt see psychedelic retro elements that will remind you of the days of yore. Rob Howze is a youth empowerment speaker, a motivational artist, and the founder of an enterprise and show on DirecTV called Camp Fit. Rob Howze has a story. Let's tell it. Well, Rob, how's it going, man?
Man, it's going great, man. I love your energy. Your energy, brother.
Excellent, man. Well, listen, I don't know that my energy is different than yours. I've seen a lot of the stuff that you do online. I see your rap videos. I see your psychedelic videos. I see all of those things. And you're putting out great energy into the world too, my friend.
Man, listen, I figure, why not? You have a choice. Yep. And whatever you put out does come back. So you can do it for good reasons or do it for selfish reasons,
Right. Well, listen, I started mentioning your businesses. So you're wearing a t-shirt. Everybody's not going to be able to see this because this is audio. So you're wearing a t-shirt right now. It says Camp Fit. You mentioned that you've got another one that says Fit Worldwide, which is for the grown folk. Tell us a little bit about those businesses.
So Camp Fit is, you think about The Biggest Loser. And think about what people went through on that program. It's pretty good. It stretches them. There's some camaraderie. So we decided to put together a program for kids, but not just about weight, but about mind, body, and spiritual growth. And use a biggest loser format where we give a prize away at the end of the year. And we'll have them getting graded in different areas to see where their growth is, with their mindset, with their teamwork, and all the necessary areas. So it's a camp for kids. And that is the seed that's being planted, because eventually it will be a school.
Awesome. I love it. So one of the things that I'm already getting a sense of is that you've already got some visions, you've got some goals, you've got some things in your mind, and you've started multiple businesses. You're a speaker, you've got your fitness business, and you're a part of something else that I know called Experts on Stage, and you're doing a lot on LinkedIn right now. So here's a question that a lot of entrepreneurs come across. You've started several businesses. Why not just work a regular job?
That's a great question. It would have to be two answers. One, my genetics, and two, my epigenetics.
Tell me a little bit more, man.
Okay. So in my genetics, there's a certain part of me genetically that's just an explorer, and you can't really be an explorer, stable.
Right.
When I say stable, I just mean stationary. We'll call it stationary.
Right.
And then epigenetics is everything that's been impacting me from my experience growing up. I mean, all I've seen is entrepreneurs. All I've seen is go-getters. All I've seen is, and that excites me. So once I see somebody do something that wasn't there before, I'm like, wow, I can do something like that. So, this is how I'm wired. That's the short answer.
Yeah, I know that feeling very closely, my friend. So we'll leave it there. I won't go deeper into that. So one of the things that I've seen you do is you've done a lot of videos. You've got stuff on iTunes. You have stuff on LinkedIn. I see you with things on YouTube, and you found a way to incorporate your family in your videos, in your singing and what you do. Why have you done that, and how can more people do that, or should people do that? Tell me a little bit about what your thoughts are around that.
We are in this age where everything is out. People have everything on the internet. You can see their sandwiches. Everything is out there. Yeah. But while everything is being out there, everybody really is closed because it's not really real. People are just putting things out. So it's actually, although we're communicating more, the relational side has kind of shifted. And so when you see somebody and their family, that instantly goes away.
Wow.
This is who they are.
Yeah. And
then now we start as humans. And so I've done that, not thinking that's what I was doing, just naturally being myself. I've always posted me and my family doing weird stuff, and my daughter, when she first started doing ABCs before she could talk, I want to post all that stuff. But what it does is humanizes you, right. And humans want other humans to connect with. When you go into a store, although you want help, the reason you don't want someone to talk to you because they create something and it doesn't feel human. It feels robotic. It feels like unnatural. But if you come to a place where you feel like Chick-fil-A, like, wow, you want to buy everything,
Yeah.
So you got to create that experience.
How do you get your family to buy in or be involved in that? I know there's some families that maybe the spouse will say, one spouse is maybe the extrovert and the other spouse is, nah, I don't want to be on camera. I don't want to do it. How do you get your family to buy into your vision, your ideas?
Again, genetics and epigenetics. I'll say that a lot because a lot of stuff is in you already.
Yeah.
And then a lot of stuff just comes because of what you've experienced. And so my family, my wife is singer. She was born a singer. I taught myself stuff. Like I didn't know how to do anything till like 20. Then I just wanted to do it and then started getting better. She came out the womb singing. Like she wasn't crying, she was singing, right? It was really interesting. Crazy. And so, it's somehow all throughout our family, everyone's kind of, now my son, he's not that hype about getting on it. He can create, whenever you see me poofing away or doing something invisible or anything that looks like Steven Spielberg, he did that. Right? Wow. So he's behind it. He'll come up front every now and then. But, I would say this, though, again, you got to know thyself. So if someone is not comfortable being on camera, don't do it. Because if you're excited and then you go to get someone who's not, that's going to jack everything up anyway. Yep. So just,
Awesome. So I mentioned earlier experts on stage, and you're a part of something that really drives or creates visibility for people who are in the public speaking arena. Tell me a little bit about your public speaking past and how it drives your career now.
Oh my goodness. So public speaking everyone is a public speaker. Every single person is a public speaker. And no matter what you're doing, you're speaking in public, right? And there's certain levels to it, whether you're speaking to your kids and you're speaking to your coworkers, to your team, or making videos on the internet, you're always speaking. And so sharpening that skill will sharpen your communication. Now, here's what's important. Communication is the fundamental, foundational, connective tissue piece for humanity, like communicating. And so the better we are with that, the better we are at building relationships and getting things done. So the better you are at speaking, meaning articulating your vision, your thoughts, your heart, your dreams, whatever your goals are, the better you are at articulating and inspiring others, winning friends and influencing people, the more you do that, the more you begin to see your legacy, begin to start growing. And I say legacy because when you leave this place, thousands of years from now, it will matter. But how much will it matter?
Right. Yeah. So we talked about LinkedIn as well, and I see you doing a lot there. I see you have rap videos, you have just encouragement or empowerment videos just sharing what's happening in your life right now. What are some of the results that you've been seeing on your LinkedIn activity or from your LinkedIn activity?
Unbelievable. Book worthy, actually. A serious book worthy, value packed content. Every chapter will be dynamic because I've been on LinkedIn for the last 10 years. But my LinkedIn account would be like, a house is there, but nobody's in it. That's how it was for me up until about 2 years ago. Just about maybe a year and 10 months. And I got on, and that's when LinkedIn started bringing on video. That's when the native video was kind of implemented. And so this gave people an opportunity to see each other and to actually share. And so this is the first time, because before that, LinkedIn was just like, I got my resume, plop it on there. I want a job. It was all job related, button up tie. No, that's it. So the video opened the door. And so with that being the case and video being my number one way of communicating, it just worked out perfectly. And before I knew it, I started, I had about 2,000 followers. It just crossed 10,000 last week, a couple weeks ago. And it's not so much about the followers, but it is about the growing engagement. And when I used to put a video up there and that thing would stay up there and it would have nothing. Right. I mean, no one. For weeks, sometimes never. Now I put a post up, it's 1,000, 100 likes, a couple hundred likes. And so I watched what I was doing. So there's some, like I could probably tell you in 5 minutes what I did. Right. And it's very duplicatable. And it's a consistency with that. And then I just started seeing the growth. And now, literally this is like an opportunity to really maximize my message.
Communication, motivation, leadership, and more. You're listening to the RK3 Show.
Hey there, just a quick reminder, if you haven't registered yet, go register for the web class. 5 simple strategies to get paid for public speaking. You won't regret it. If you have a story to tell or expertise to share, then you need to hop on this webinar. Isn't it time you got paid for your pain? Check the show notes and sign up today. And now, back to the show. Let's talk about that video just for a second. I think one of the things that I've heard from some people, and this is, there's always naysayers. There's always the people that look at the negative side. They're saying that, okay, LinkedIn was a professional network. Mm-hmm. It was a network for corporate professionals. And now you've got video, you've got lives, and you got some of these different things. It's going to become just like Facebook. It's going to go downhill. Tell me a little bit about your thoughts with regard to that.
Well, it can never become Facebook, just like Facebook can never become Instagram. We understand the similarities, and yes, it will become a lot more social. But this is what we want. Like, we don't want things to be robotic. I want to be able to see Robert and talk to him. I want to see his family. I want to see what he's thinking about. I want to see his insights. I don't want to just know what he's doing in his job. That's boring. Right. Like, what if I have no interest in that? That means if I have no interest in what he's doing professionally, me and this human can't connect. No. So I believe, though, we will, as humans, we'll find a way to, dilute this, and the value will start to change. But then something else will come around. Right. That's just how life is. So my short answer is, right now it's popping. It's, 600 million users, but only 1% of those users actually produce content.
Wow.
So it's like only 1%. Now it's like 275 active users, but only 1% of those active people only produce content. And an even smaller fraction produce video content. So if you are a video content producer, now you become the one. So I say go.
Oh, wow. So that kind of leads me right into my next question then. You might have already answered it, actually. Speakers. I mean, if you're a speaker, if you're trying to build a speaker business, if you're trying to create influence in an organization, what are one or two things that I must absolutely be doing on LinkedIn today?
Oh, absolutely posting a video at least twice a week.
Wow. At
least twice a week. And if you can, once a day. Twice a week, bare minimum. And during the week, post content that's going to be attractive to you. Like, what would you want to see? What would you want to see? Or the other side is the people that you want to attract, people that you want to hang out with, the people that you want to associate with. What do they want to see?
Right.
Put that out. So you can put both out. But I would say a consistent flow of content. And if you're a speaker, you have to be on that video. Mm. You have to be. And whatever message, it's even better. Whatever message you have to be sharing it weekly. Like, whatever your message is, you need to be on camera and sharing it.
Wow. So you just mentioned something really important, whatever your message is. And we know that there are a lot of people who are not totally clear on what their message is. Somebody said, you got to get on social media. You got to get as many likes as possible. And so you're putting stuff out there and you're putting all sorts of things, but there's not a cohesive message. How does someone get closer to what that message is, especially if you're just starting out and you're not 100% clear yet? Yeah.
Oh, that's big. Oh, that's big. It may be the easiest one, but maybe the hardest road to get to. Easiest question, but hardest road to get to. And that's unpacking the why. Like, you got to unpack the why. Like, why are you doing this? Because if you're just doing it to make money or doing it because you saw Les Brown or E.T. got your hype off the water story, like, if you're doing it for a reason, when it gets rough, you're going to run out of gas.
Wow.
So you got to go deep inside. And why are you doing this? What is driving you? Because when you do that, then the things that come at you that would have impeded you actually become more fuel. Because you know your why, so you know that all this thing's coming to you, just more learning lessons. So you fail forward instead of falling off.
That's awesome, man. I've actually got this saying. It says, if your why isn't strong enough, you won't be around long enough.
Woo! Man. I'll turn that into a song right there.
Man. Yeah.
That's good.
Let's hop back to the video just for a second. So if anybody's seen you, they see these videos, they see this person that sings, they see this person that does all these different things, but that takes a little bit of work in the background to do the video production, to do the songs or the creative part of it. And that might be scary for a lot of people who say, well, dude, I don't have those skills, those gifts, those talents. How can I then produce video content without having all of those things innately?
Oh, yeah. Well, this is beautiful too, man. So if you have a phone, and you got a phone, then you got your zone. That's
right.
it. Phone, and go on Amazon and order a phone tripod. And you might get the tripod the same day if you order by a certain time. Tripod, you got the phone. That's it.
Yeah.
You don't need anything else. If you want to go to the next level, there's a thing called Fiverr, Fiverr.com. You go there, and for $5 or $10, somebody will take that video that you just shot with your phone, and they will beautify it for $5 or $10. And so, and that's a great route to go if you want to. And then also, this is not very difficult to learn. If you have an iPhone, then it's iMovie. iMovie is very simple. If you have Android, they have their version of the video that comes with it. I forget what it's called. But the basic video editor on your phone is all you need. You just got to spend some time. The thing about it is, people see things and it's foreign to them. So because it's foreign to them, they feel that they can't do it. They don't realize that they just spend a little time. You spend 10 minutes, is no longer foreign. And you're more likely to spend another 10 minutes. Before you know it, you're an hour and 10 minutes in, and now you don't want to get out. But you got to get started. So figure out where you want to go and then get in.
Awesome, man. So let's wrap with this question. What is one piece of advice that you just absolutely love giving to people? Either one piece of advice or maybe one book. You can maybe combine all of that into one answer. Oh,
man. Think and Grow Rich.
Wow.
Think and Grow Rich is the book, because it may be one of the greatest men that ever walked the earth, one of the greatest interviewers that ever walked the earth, Napoleon Hill, and how he interviewed basically 500 of the greatest men that ever walked the earth, Andrew Carnegie, Thomas Edison, and a rack of other folks. And then he comprised all that knowledge into this one book. Well, actually, it was another book. And then that book also became this book, but that's a long story. But it's that book, right? And so that's the book. But in the thought is focus on what you're focusing on.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And Napoleon Hill has something called the definite chief aim. And this is the biggest thing. We're talking about clarity. And definite chief aim is basically knowing what you want, exactly what it is, and how you're going to accomplish it. And definitely, like, being completely clear and sure about what it is, because with that certainty, you're more likely to get it. And so my phrase, focus on what you're focusing on, it sounds simple, but what are you thinking about?
Yeah.
Because if you have a goal, your mind, you got 70,000 thoughts a day, you can easily lose track. So make sure you're focusing on what you're focusing on and have that definite chief aim.
Awesome. Where can people connect with you? We've been talking a lot about LinkedIn, but where else can people connect with you, find you online?
You know what? I am the #1 Rob Howze on Google.
Wow.
#1, man. I said, yeah, me and another guy in Atlanta, we're battling, but I got it, dude. I got it right now. I've been holding it strong for the long as Google's been out. So if you go to Google, type my name in, because from there you'll be able to see a bunch of different things. And maybe the public speaking, maybe you have a company, you need to do some streamlining your back office, maybe some coaching. It depends. Maybe just like videos. You go there, you'll be able to find it.
Family, public speaking, LinkedIn. Yes. You can do it all. You simply need to have a goal, a purpose, a drive towards your destination. Part of the challenge for most of us is this. We see the destination, but in between here and there is fog, ice, oil slicks, rocks, cliffs, ravines, jagged edges, rocks, and difficulty. So we don't feel like we can make it. Here's the bad news. Some of those rocks and ravines are real, and you'll have to navigate them to gain the prize. Here's the good news. Only some of those rocks and ravines are real, because we create some of them by worry. And I like to say that worry is an active misuse of your imagination. It won't be easy, and you will need the challenges to grow you, to give you strength and skill you need for success. But it's possible. Success is possible. Your dream is possible. And along the way, you'll develop a story that's meant to inspire someone else. Your job is to tell it. Listen, I want to invite you to go over to Apple Podcasts to leave a ranking, rating, and a review for the show. Also, head over to the other major podcast outlets, Spotify, Pandora, Google Play, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, wherever you listen to podcasts. Then be sure to head to the show notes to grab the links and the resources from this episode. Listen, I hope you had fun today. I hope you learned something. Most of all, I hope you were compelled to jump out of your comfort zone and share your story. If I can be helpful with that, let me know by hopping over to robertkennedy3.com or just leave me a voicemail at robertkennedy3.com/voicemail. You're also welcome to shoot me an email, podcast@robertkennedy3.com. That's podcast@robertkennedy3.com. Hey, y'all, don't forget, everything that happens to you in life is your stuff. Your stuff is your story, and your story deserves a stage. I'm Robert Kennedy III, RK3, and you've been listening to The RK